All right, we have just wrapped Build Conference in San Antonio, Texas, and it was 3 days. And to say that my mind is full is an understatement, but I want to give you guys a quick recap of all the things because I don't want to make sure that I missed anything. There's so much good information. So I'm actually filming today in a co-working office in San Antonio, which that's the beauty of EXP is I can literally work wherever I want, whenever I want, because we are a cloud-based virtual brokerage. So my team is in Hawaii. They are jamming for me, doing showings for me, sending CMAs for me, like all the things. And I'm still a support to my clients, but I don't physically have to be there all the time. And so there was so much information given with amazing top producers, team leaders, the executive team of EXP, you name it. And I want to break this into 2 parts because there's just so much information to go over. So today the focus is going to be for agents who want to produce more. Whatever it is, whatever your excuse is that it's the market and your business is slow, or you suck at time blocking and that's why it's slow, or you don't have enough leads and that's why it's slow. Like really, this is why I just want to focus on production first, because we know if anything, if we don't have production, we don't get paid and we don't get to put food on the table. And then the part 2 is going to be about EXP, my company, kind of what's coming in the future and what they're anticipating for the next 5 years, like the vision of the company, which is really exciting. And then also just like how this company has changed people's lives. I really want to deep dive on that and what it looks like for you, wherever you are in life, wherever you are in business. It doesn't matter if you're a new agent or you're a super experienced agent with 20 plus years and being the top in your state or whatever that is. There's just a lot of really good information. So let's kind of dive into production focus. I'm going to name drop a lot of people. So I'm going to have my editors throw up their name anytime and like their statistics, because I could say Jeb Blunt all day and you're going to be like, who the heck is Jeb Blunt? But if you know who he is, then you know they're a big deal. And so I'm just going to kind of go through this quickly so it's not a 20-minute long video, but I'm just going to drop the name and then we'll make sure to throw up text that says like this is their business credentials, okay? To start this off, right? So I have a ton of notes. I'm just going to roll through this really quickly. But number 1 for production, Jeb Blunt and Lars Hedenberg both said separately on different stages, like speaking separately, only 3 things that we can control as an agent. So number 1, you can control your actions, right? Which is also considered your effort. That is something you can control. You can control what you do with your body and when you clock into work and how much time you put towards your business. So for example, Rosie Rodriguez is another speaker, top producer. She got up on stage and she told an agent that was not closing any business at the time. He came to her and he's like, hey Rosie, what do I do? Like I'm just not getting anything done. I'm not seeing any traction in my business. She gave him a 1-week challenge and she said that he needs to wake up and work out every single day and be done by 9 a.m. 5 days in a row, like Monday through Friday. She would pay him $100 if he could do those things. And if he didn't do it, then he would have to pay her $100. Well, I wonder what he did. Do you think he actually did what he was supposed to? And that's just a big incentive to say, dude, what are we doing every day? You know, like if you're not doing these things, it's a sign of why you're not being successful, right? And then she also said you have to move your body daily. 45 minutes is the amount of movement that starts to trigger those happy hormones and those happy chemicals in your brain. And if you're just rolling out of bed 5 minutes before the Zoom call, hoping that you're going to be successful that day, your body is not going to catch up and you're not going to have the energy and the stamina and the contagious attitude that you need to have on a phone to actually have leads trust you and convert into real clients, right? Viral Workman, he coaches over 650 teams. He mentioned that your actions must be consistent with, he was asking, are your actions consistent with greatness or consistent with average? So that's just a question to kind of evaluate. Like based on your daily tasks every day, are you doing tasks of a great agent or are you doing the tasks and the busy work of an average agent? And which one do you want to be, right? Okay, the second thing you control is your reaction, so your focus. So we know there's a big difference between living in proactivity, meaning we're a couple steps ahead, we've planned ahead, we've time blocked, versus living in reactivity, whereas every time you get a ding or a ring or whatever, that we're jumping to follow up or we're texting right back to our friends, our family, like even when it's prime production time, we are constantly distracted. So you can control your reaction. You can say, I'm going to time block 3 days a week and I'm not going to respond to any inbound anything until I finish my outbounds, right? You have control, but it's a muscle you need to work. The third thing we can control is mindset, right? Your attitude. Are you a rain barrel or a rain maker? I love this question that they asked. So what's a rain barrel, right? Well, a rain barrel sits there and it's open, but it just waits for things to fall into it. It's kind of like a wish marketing tactic. And then you have a rainmaker, someone who's literally shaking the clouds and making the rain fall out, and they're causing that humidity to cause precipitation. Like, they're making it happen. And so which one are you? Mike Sherrard, he's another really well-known EXP agent. He does a lot of YouTube marketing. He says you need to do 100 hours on any activity and you'll be 90% better than the average person in your industry. 100 hours. We're not saying you need the 10,000 hours rule like a lot of people say to be an expert, just 100 hours. So that's as little as 16 minutes a day and you could be 90% better than the rest of the industry. So what are you willing to do that's going to do that 16 minutes a day, like one skill, learn one new thing a day, whatever it is. I just love that mentality check of it can only be 16 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be this big long thing, right? Okay, so those are the 3 things you can control. You can control your actions and effort, your reactions and your focus, and your mindset and your attitude. Then the big thing, there was multiple speakers, like over a dozen, and there was this consistency between the advice that they were giving for agents to really move the needle in their business. And so in order to be a successful agent, and when I say successful, I mean you're getting paid more than minimum wage for this real estate career. You are a business owner, so are you treating it like that? I think it was Jay Kinder and one other person threw up a slide to say, like, if you really evaluate the amount you are worth per hour based on the income that you want, the average agent, even when they're 16 years in the industry, makes only like $50,000 to $60,000 a year, the average agent. So if you came into the industry and you want to make more than you would at Taco Bell, then you need to do more business. And if you want to make $100,000 in 6-figure business, right? What does it take? So this is what I'm talking to. If you want to be above average, what does it take? Number 1, discipline with your time. So really, this is sacrificing what you want now for what you want most later. And really, in order to determine this, like, well, I really feel comfortable now and I don't really want to push myself. What does that mean? That pull has to be bigger. Whatever that why is has to be bigger than your current comfortable settling situation. You also need to be disciplined with your time with a morning script practice for 30 minutes every single day. And multiple team leaders said this is non-negotiable. Unless you are a scripts ninja and you can convert a lead on the first call and you're just like better than the rest of the world, then you need to practice your scripts. This is something I need to work on. I'm not perfect, right? I'm still learning, absolutely, but I don't do this. And so a couple ways you can do this is you can literally record yourself. You don't have a camera, you have a phone, and you also have a computer. You can literally do a Zoom call by yourself and screen record and have yourself, and then I want you to watch it back. And another thing that they said is, like, one guy, he used to be a Keller Williams accountability coach, and he said you can do like a voice message to yourself and save it in your voice recordings in your phone, and then play that thing over and over and over in the car when you're driving. Hello, like, that's a super great hack to like get your scripts practice in. So for me, I take the kids to school every morning. I've got 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. I can be practicing my scripts and hearing myself back, looking for ways to improve every single time. Does that make sense? The other thing with discipline with your time, top producers clock in by 8 in the morning every single day. They're not strolling in at 10 o'clock. They're not doing the dishes at 8 o'clock in the morning and then cleaning the house and then finally sitting down by 9. 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, okay? So if you want to make money like these top producers, which is $300,000, $500,000 a year, selling 20, 30 homes at a time, you better start acting like it, right? You really have to be a discipline on your time. And that starts with going to bed early the night before. Just a little tidbit there. The other thing they do is they don't stop until they get the most critical tasks done. So if you have time blocked the morning to prospect and you've called 100 people, but you set no appointments, well, guess what? That means your afternoon's free. So you should be calling more people. They keep calling in the afternoon, even if they've called in the morning. They're not just checking the box. Okay. Dan Beer is a really successful agent too. He said most agents play by rules that don't exist. So write your own dang rules, right? So a lot of the times you see, okay, we're going to have 5 open house signs and we're going to sit it from 2 to 5, only Saturday and Sunday. And I'm only going to lead gen in the morning because that's what my boss told me to do. Says who? We never took this oath to say this is how open houses run or this is how schedules are played. Like, if you want to do an open house, put out 30 signs. What if you had an open house sign on every single corner, like a half a block out for everywhere around the house, not just one directional, right? That would be huge. You can also, instead of investing like $200 a sign, you can do it on like the little plant and the stick things. And maybe it's just an arrow that says open house this way. And they're like cheap paper ones. You can get creative with it, right? Same thing, time. I mean, I've sat open houses on a Tuesday from 9 to 5. And guess what? I got a buyer. It happens. But I think a lot of us make this excuse of, no, I have to only sit it on Sundays because that's the most traffic. Well, guess what? That's also the time that most people come in and they have an agent. So that's a complete waste of time. Not a waste of time, but like, you get what I'm saying? We're trying to get in someone who wouldn't normally be able to be gotten. Virl Workman also said, if you don't have an assistant, you are one. And dude, I could go on and on about this. I'm a true believer in delegation and just creating a second layer of support to yourself. So he believes as soon as you get your license, you should hire that assistant. Obviously, not everyone has the means to do that. But imagine what that would look like for your business if you're a brand new agent on day 1 and day 2 you get an assistant. Well, guess what? Now you're accountable for someone else and you have to pay for someone else's lifestyle. You think you're going to work a little bit harder if you have to pay for them? Yes, you are. We are not sleeping if we have someone else depending on us, right? So I think that's a great tip. And then let's roll into number 2. This is, again, the 3 things you need to do to be a successful agent. Tip number 2 is obviously lead generation / follow-up / prospecting / fill your pipeline, right? We know this is the most important thing in our business, but this is the first thing to go in our calendar when we get busy, okay? So this is a big chunk here. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff. Number 1, we need to understand the universal law of need. And this law says, which is like a principle of life that people have proven over and over, the more you need something, the more likely you are to lose. So let's just let that sink in. If you are desperate and you can smell the desperation through the phone, we have an issue, right? It just means you're more likely to close. So there's a lot of mindset work we got to do, right? This is something you need to understand. People sense it. Second thing with lead generation, which, okay, let's just phrase this. If you're a new agent and you're like, what is leads? What is prospecting? What does all this mean? This means you need people coming to you, right? We want inbound people interested in real estate, or we have to go find them somehow. So that's what this prospecting time is. If you think about like the gold rush and prospectors, they're mining for gold. Okay, those are prospectors. This is the same thing. So Gil Ramos, amazing guy, loved his story. He says you need to focus only on prime clients, and he considers those the A clients, right? We've got like A, B, C, and in our team, we call them like prime, meaning they're willing and looking to buy or sell in the next 90 days. Anybody else that's not looking to buy or sell in the next 90 days is not a top priority. Those people, we put them in our CRM, we set a task to follow up, but it's a slow drip on those, right? We're not going to be calling them every single week if they're not interested right now. But we want to find the people that have some urgency and some motivation and they have some pain points that we need to help them with, right? And that's how you can really just crush through your calls, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for 90 days or less. Are you looking to buy or sell in the next 90 days? What's the timeline looking like? Are we looking to get pre-approved this week or 2 months from now? Like, we're trying to figure it out. The other thing he recommends is we're not going to fight the market, right? So depending on the marketplace that we're in, and we're in a very volatile market, meaning every month it could change. 1 month it's a buyer's market, the next month it's a seller's market, and we're constantly on this roller coaster ride of like, well, what market is it this month, right? But that means you need to change the bait that you're fishing with, right? So he really says, don't fight it. Like, just understand what we're in and then change your marketing to talk to that specific person it's their advantage right now. So he said, one thing I want to pop up so the editors can throw this in. There's a demographic of who are our most buyers right now. So for a while, I want to say like if we go like May and previous, like 2022, we were targeting a lot of Gen Z just with like TikTok and Reels and all of this stuff. Like, it was just very young demographic focused. But in reality, the majority of our buyers are millennials and baby boomers. And so if you're talking to millennials and baby boomers, you better understand what's on their mind and what's most important to them in this phase of their life, right? So a lot of these people have bought a home already. That's going to be your prime target. If they own a home, we want to help them grow their wealth. Whether that's looking to upsize, to downsize, to use that equity. Maybe they want to be a first-time investor. When you're doing your marketing, we're not necessarily going to be using Gen Z phrases, right? We're going to think back to millennial and baby boomers and what was cool to them, and remembering that they didn't grow up with computers. And there's like this Instagram page I love to follow. It's 30AF. I think that's what it is. Or Millennials AF. And it just like is all these memes and funny things about just life growing up as a millennial. And that's the kind of stuff you want to start to piece and pop into your marketing to make it more relatable. For the baby boomers, talking about retirement is huge, right? What are we going to do? It's coming. Like, could be 5 years or less, right? It's coming. Retirement is around the corner for these people. So we can start to address that and talk about it in our marketing. Another thing with that fish. So remembering that EXP gives you funnels for free, gives you ads already pre-built. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to hire a marketing specialist. We have a KV Core CRM program that's offered to you with EXP for as low as $85 a month, which is part of your tech fee. So there's nothing additional out of pocket to you. But literally you can just go in there, use your name. It's your name.exprealty.com/sell. And there's your seller funnel. and then we can boost ads behind that, and I can teach you how to do that and get you leads within a week. Like, it's that fast, and it doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars a month to get these leads, okay? The next thing is for prospecting. You need to learn how to have a relaxed and assertive confidence. Relaxed, assertive confidence. So think about that for a second. What does that mean? It means when I'm on the phone, I'm not pushy. I'm not guilt or shaming or telling them that they're wrong. I have emotional intelligence to listen more than I speak. I'm pausing and I'm not filling every gap with my opinion. This is a skill. This is a skill that a lot of people need to learn. And it's something I can even improve. I tend to talk a lot. Like, that's just my personality. I just tend to like information overload. But really, I need to practice on listening more than I'm speaking, right? So like they say, the most powerful foundation is to have this relaxed, assertive confidence. And another thing, I didn't add this to the notes, but we talked about like creating an alter ego for yourself of whatever the successful version of you looks like. And so that's a core character description of my alter ego, to be the millionaire Marina that I want to be. I want her to be a relaxed, assertive, and confident agent, right? The next thing is prospecting amount and time for the quality of life you want. So this is something Michelle Wilson brought up. Love Michelle. She's an amazing super mom and her story is incredible. But she says, like, this is something we do in our team too. We are going to manage you based on the amount that you want to produce. If you tell me you only want to sell 1 home a month, meaning you're only doing 12 deals a year, you don't need to call 3 hours a day, right? That's going to get you a lot more business than you really want to do. So maybe that means you're only calling 1 hour a day, right? Or for her team, she just said the example, like, if you're only calling 20 people a day, then you know you're going to have the quality of life of calling 20 people a day, which is about $50,000 a year. However, if you want to call 50 people a day, it means you can have the quality of life of someone living a $75,000 income life. Just really getting clear on the amount of effort you put in has a direct result on what you get back, right? So just super good reminders that you need to evaluate what you're doing. I forget who said this, but someone said the leads are the frosting, not the cake. So what does that mean? The cake is the prospecting. The good stuff, the meaty stuff, the part that actually fills you up and makes you feel so good is the talking to people. And if you're not talking to people every day, then you're just really doing anything. And it might just be busy work and you're completely wasting your time. So there was this guy, Chad's son. Chad is like a super high producer. Chad's son just got his license 2 weeks ago, okay? And he stood up in the audience. We like shouted him out. He looks like he's like 19 or 20. They told the story that in his first 2 days, licensed as a realtor, came into the office because they have a brick and mortar. It's their choice. He did 1,900 dials his first 2 days. So just like let that sink in. Pretty much 1,000 calls in 1 day for 2 days in a row. And out of that, he has 6 to 8 active buyers now, with just 2 weeks of having his real estate license. Like, tell me this is not rocket science. This is so easy, but no one does it, right? If you're really hungry, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to move the needle in your business and get paid and actually build your business, right? I mean, that was so incredible. We just, a round of applause for that kid. So good. Okay, then we did what you measure matters. So a big theme about this week, and I think it's been something Travis and I have been talking about for Ferris Team a lot, is accountability, right? How are we actually holding our agents accountable to reach their goals? And also, by what you measure matters, and what you measure gets done. Like, that's just fact. So I know for me, right now I'm doing this for my health. I need to be tracking everything I'm eating. And when I start to track, I start to have awareness of, oh, I had too many carbs that meal. Or oops, that one thing had too many fats. Or oops, that thing didn't have enough macros or protein or whatever it was. And like, I'm not aware unless I'm taking 3 seconds to go to my app and just type in what I ate right there. I would just keep eating and I'd be guessing a lot, right? But if you start to measure and track and put notes down of, okay, call 20 people, talk to 5, set 1 appointment, like whatever your conversions are, but just we have to be accountable to that. Veronica Figueroa, she is the top team in EXP last year nationwide. I think they sold over 2,000 homes in Florida. This woman is a beast and a superwoman, and her team is incredible. They do a point system for accountability within their team, and in order with the points, it unlocks leads. So unless you're doing the bare minimum even as an agent, it's like just to like consider yourself an agent, you don't even get access to leads unless you do all of these things. So they do a 2-hour daily dial power hour, which we were doing this on our team too, and I think we're going to bring it back. But it's accountability to go face to face with with your peers. We can be on mute, we can not be on mute, but we are literally all calling together for 1 hour or 2 hours, and we're just making that reps, right? We're putting the work in. And then she also recommends to record your calls and listen back, which is what I said. Criticize yourself. Have your teammates give you some constructive criticism, right? Like, ooh, on that objective, maybe say this instead of that. Or, dang, you totally forgot to say what you were going to do next. Or you forgot to set the appointment. You were like right there. Like, you need those feedbacks, right? And then Pickle AI, if you want to add a text bar for that one, Pickle AI is a good AI program to track your sales calls and get feedback on those too. I think it records it and types it all out for you so you can see everything that you said. So for her team, they have to have up to 2,000 CRM points every single week and 2 20-minute conversations a week required to get those points. So that means like her squad leaders are going in their CRM and they're checking. Are you following up with people? How many dials have you made? How many searches have you set up? How many leads have you brought in on your own? SOI, not team provided. Like all of these things are things that they're tracking. And the more points you get, the more high quality leads you get. And it just is a win-win for everybody. The other thing is obviously we got to do content in social media. If you're not on content in social media, you don't exist on the internet, which means you are not a reliable source for the biggest purchase of someone's life. Okay. This is critical. And this is something I teach my agents. I have a course coming out for social media for real estate, and it's going to be super basic and 101 because I don't want to overwhelm you. The biggest thing is to remember Instagram is your portfolio these days. So it doesn't need to be like this big thing right now if you're just starting with social media, but you do need to exist and you do need to show your face and your voice, and people need to understand your personality. The next thing is agent activity points. So they create a 52-week journey campaign for each buyer or each seller or each agent that they're working on. And so that is something that they're tracking too. How many points are they getting for all these buyers, right? How are they tracking these? You bet your damn self they have a program or they have an Excel spreadsheet where the agent is responsible for tracking their activities to say, I am doing all these successful tasks and habits of successful producers, okay? The last thing Veronica said was you have to have fanatical discipline. I want this to be big words, fanatical. What does fanatical mean, right? It's a little bit crazy, but we like the crazy, right? So you're gonna max your time, focus on the little gains, and you will get tired and bored before you see results. So are you willing to keep going even when you're fried and bored and you don't want to do it and don't feel like it? Are you still going to keep doing it, right? That is the differentiator between an average agent and a great agent. She also recommended a book called Great by Choice. We'll throw up a little picture of that, and I've got a link below for you guys for that one. Wrapping up, we've got 2 more things when it comes to prospecting. Earl Workman said daily action. So again, prospect until you get 3 people added to your database, whatever it takes to get 3 new names into your database. You also need to prospect until you find 2 new appointments or 2 new calls set. So we're adding 3 people and we're going to talk to 2 people every single day. Okay. And he also wants every single agent to learn 1 new thing a day, which isn't complicated. Right? That could be how to find like some CMA or how to pull data over here or what condo docs XYZ means in the contract. Like, just learn 1 new thing a day and you're going to move the needle, right? The last thing about prospecting, Randy Bird said, how to change your life is basically down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Okay. Step number 1 is to be prepared, meaning you're making a list of who you're going to talk to before you actually sit down, right? If we know we're going to start dialing at 8:30, then you need to have that list made before 8:30. You don't show up to your desk and then waste 45 minutes making your list, right? And again, this is the power of a CRM. We are true believers that every single agent needs to have a CRM, and a CRM is your client relationship management program. So we have KV Core that comes free with EXP. We have Sierra Interactive, which is what Ferris team uses, and you have so many others, Follow Up Boss, Make It Rain, you name it. Like, there's so many CRMs out there, but those CRMs are smart and they're built to help you succeed and to save time. And so what you should be doing is every time you call someone, you're adding notes to that profile and you're setting a task for a reminder to follow up later. So you don't necessarily have to waste 45 minutes pulling a list. If you start to do this consistently day after day, you have to wake up, click refresh on your home, on your CRM, and you have a task list right there of the people you need to call. Second thing you need to do of how to change your life as an agent is to reframe your mindset, okay? You need to think, I'm not bothering them. You are helping them. Right? Your call is actually helping them. And I'm going to go into mindset next, but just come from a positive place that this is a good thing that you're calling. Okay. The third thing is practice make perfect, right? We talked about that. 4 things, focus on the value that you offer, right? What is it that you're calling that you're actually providing value for, right? Again, we're not bothering them. They expressed interest in real estate, so how can I help them today? That's my goal. The fifth thing is to get accountability and support, whether that means hiring a coach or using your mentor. If your broker is your mentor, red flag, run away. If your accountability coach pays you, or like your company makes you pay for an accountability coach, run away, right? EXP offers all these things for free so that you can really save your resources and maximize your profits in a business. I am a mentor. I think you guys know this by now, but I'm a mentor to about 8 agents right now, and we have a weekly huddle on Friday mornings, but then they get access to me 7 days out of the week, and I respond within business hours for the most part, whether that's a voice message or a text here and there. I'm always available to help my mentees move the needle in their business for their first 3 transactions. That's my job, is to get you from 0 to 3 and as fast as we can. Last step that Randy says is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. So literally, you're about to start your day, right? You're gonna start your calls. You're like, oh my God, I don't wanna do this. I'm just too nervous, or I don't feel like good, or whatever that is. You take a deep breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just go. Just dial. No excuses. It's like Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. It's the same thing. Just do it. Last thing here. So we've got the 3 steps as a recap. Number 1, discipline with your time. Number 2, lead generation. And number 3 is going to be mindset. So let's kind of dive into mindset. You need to adopt a growth mindset and never stop learning. We know this, but how many of us are actually doing this and practicing growth mindset stuff? Okay. You got to be grateful for what you do have in your life. Not focus on the negative. Don't focus on what we're lacking. Make a list every day of 5 things you're grateful, right? There's the 5-minute journal app in your phone. You can try it for 30 days. Every single day, you're going to just do a 5-minute journal of all the things you're grateful for and watch your life significantly improve just in 5 minutes a day. Lars Hedenberg, he's a coach and an agent, said, you marry the process and divorce the results. Meaning we are doing activities, not for the results as much as it sucks. And that's what we focus on, is oh, I just want the results. I want the results, right? But we're actually focusing on the process, just doing the daily discipline and consistent action to move the needle. Priorities are what we do, he said. Everything else is just talk. So stop comparing your insides, meaning your thoughts and your beliefs, and what you're feeling that day, to other people's highlight reels and other people's outsides. I love that one. Randy Bird said, if you have a fear of rejection that keeps you from calling, you're attached to the outcome. We know this. Number 2, Randy said, fear of failure equals a lack mentality, meaning sometimes our harshest critics are the people that are closest to us, right? If we have a fear of failure, it means we care what other people think, right? And that's what's holding you back. But guess what? Sometimes the people that love you the most, like your spouse, sometimes, maybe your family, maybe your mom and dad, maybe your best friend, they're going to tell you that you can't do it. They're going to tell you that real estate's hard, but they're not in this business. They don't know anything, right? This is just an opinion they've formed from the internet. And then what else? Oh, so Gene Frederick told a story about when he was at Keller Williams. I forget if he was in San Antonio or Austin or something. This is in the 90s. And he's a new agent. And he's like, man, I want to be number 1 in the office. What does that take? No one has sold 20 homes in a month yet. I'm going to do that. And so everyone in the office, including his broker, including the coach, including his coworkers, everyone said, that's not possible. No one can sell 20 homes in a month. And so he took the challenge, and guess what? He sold 23 homes that month. Then he got awards. He was on the stage and he got recognized, whatever. On the stage, or right after, he went to whoever was top in the state, or maybe it was the leadership for Keller Williams. And he's they're okay, so what's next? You're already number 1. What are you going to do? He's well, I want to sell 50 homes. And they told him it was impossible, right? These are literally his peers that want him to sell real estate, told him that it was impossible. And he went on and he sold over 50 homes. That is just, this is mindset, right? Break the rules, make your own rules. It doesn't matter. Number 3, Randy says about fear, is you have fear of being a bother. The truth is we all want to belong. And so how does that apply to your clients, right? Invite them to connect, whatever that is. Meet them on equal ground, right? Selling versus contributing. So really, it's just our fears, our beliefs, and a lot of them are lies. They're not facts. So I guarantee if you try this exercise where you write down all your fears and then you write across from it, is that actually truth or false? Truth or false? You're going to see it's all just lies we say in our head, right? Oh, the other thing he said, this is a really good one. If you're stuck in fear for mindset, is to try this. So what if every single phone call you made, you were giving away $10,000? Okay, think of it that way. You're why, Maria? That doesn't make any sense. But if you think about it, people grow wealth through real estate, right? So if they could buy a home, if they're going to own that home for 2 to 3 years, they're probably going to have $10,000 in equity. So every single call you make is worth $10,000 to that person on the other side of the phone. We're giving away money by calling them, if you think of it that way. And then it's okay, then what if I say, you have until midnight to give away as much money as you can until midnight? what are you gonna do? You're gonna be calling 1,000 people that day to give away money and help everyone in their life, right? It's totally a different mindset change. Curtis Johnson said the most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. And I love that one. I posted it on Threads because it was so good. That is the quote of the day. The most expensive thing you can own is a closed mind. Gary Brecka says authenticity is the highest frequency. And so we know this when you study humans, which he's a huge human nerd. He's really good at health and wellness. Our bodies and our emotions have frequencies, right? If you're feeling sad, you're going to have a certain type of energy and frequency coming out of your body versus you're feeling really excited and happy, then you're going to have a higher rate emotion and frequency. So if you're coming on the phone or you're coming in person or even on Zoom call and you're coming across authentic, that is the highest chance you have to actually change someone's emotional state. So think about that one. Really, like as humans, we have the power to change other people's emotional state. So 75 to 80% of all decisions are driven by emotion. So how do you influence anyone? This was super cool that Gary Brecka walked us through. Like you can actually influence anyone you want, right? We have the ability to do that, which is pretty cool. So number one is intention setting. Just one word. Like if you're about to jump on a call with someone, what is the one thing you want to do? Book an appointment, sign the listing agreement, schedule a call with me, tell their friend about me, referral, like whatever that is, set one intention, okay? Then you're going to do visualization. And with visualization, this is not some woo-woo thing where we're trying to do something else, but you're just going to literally think of that thing happening, that one word happening. We're not going to think about the process. We're not going to think about all the scripts we have to go through. We're not going to think about the drive there or anything like that. We're not thinking about the journey at all. Literally just seeing that person in your head saying, oh yeah, so-and-so told me they're moving. Here's their number. Or picture this, let's talk on a phone call. Saturday night's great at 5 p.m. Whatever that one thing that you're trying to achieve on that conversation, you're going to visualize that happening, okay? And then you're going to also visualize them thankful, ready to take action, and happy to tell more people about you. That's the ultimate end and the sweetest hang up on a phone call is when that happens, right? So knowing that you can also shift your own state of being. So if you're feeling low energy and you're feeling blah, I don't want to do this right now, Tony Robbins teaches this, and Gary and Tony are close friends. How do you change your state of being, right? You do it through moving your physical body. Tony Robbins does this a lot in his events. You have to jump up and down and you have to blast the music and you have to be a little crazy sometimes. But I guarantee you, if you do 10 jumping jacks with some badass workouts on, you're going to show up different on the phone than if you just stay still and you're talking on a low tone and you're not moving your body. You have to change your physical state in order to change your emotional state of being. It's just how it works. Oh yeah, we talked about this earlier. If you have a fear of rejection that keeps you from calling, you are attached to the outcome. Okay, that's just a reminder. The last thing on this part was Krista Mayshore said high energy equals high income. Just like we talked about, you have to change your state of being so that you have high energy, right? Your biggest breakthroughs are in the areas you hide from the most. And I guarantee you, if I were to ask you spot on, I say, what are you hiding from in your business? Something would come to mind. You already know what you're supposed to be doing and you're just choosing not to do it. Okay, so last thing here to wrap up. I know this is getting long. We have purchased the Bill Pipes coaching program for you to share for free. It's a $3,000 value and it's 6 steps to 7 figures. So I know a lot of people have heard of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the book by Gary Keller, which is a great book, but this is literally how Bill Pipes, the coach, he coaches all the nation's top teams and agents. He's gotten 29 agents to $1 million in gross commission over the last year. Okay, so he's worked out this system. He's figured it out. He has scripts. He has books. He has prompts. He has letters to send in the mail. He has drip campaigns for you to put into your emails. He has everything you need, plus the accountability. We're giving this to you guys for free as collab members, as part of our organization at EXP. Super cool. And I'm so excited to roll this out because I think everyone just kind of needs a shake up. We've all been a little bit lazy in our business. And here's the accountability you need. Served to you on a platter. Not only am I going through it, my entire team and our organization is going through it right now. So if that's you and you're like, dude, Maureen, I just need someone to kick my ass. Coach is going to kick your ass. Okay, it's not always going to be me anymore. But just a little bit about Bill Pipes. So he's done over 120,000 coaching sessions in his career. And when I say he coaches the top of the top, I'm not just saying that to say that. He literally works with the best of the best. These are people making $2 million a year in their real estate agent or $4 million a year in their real estate agent. This is real crap. It's crazy to me. So he teaches you all of the things that these people do, okay? And one thing he said is you cannot be the same person that's doing 250 deals a year as the person that needs to do 1,000 deals in a year. There is a transformation there. Something has to change in the 250 deal person's mindset up to the 1,000 person deal, right? Or 1,000 transactions agent. It's just There's a lot of mindset work we got to do. There's a lot of skills we got to improve. And so we're going to start showing up like that person that's doing 1,000 deals a year. And that might like blow your brains. That's just so crazy. But it's possible. You have to embrace the startup sacrifice mentality. I love this part because I know as an entrepreneur, just like real estate, when you start a business with any industry, you have a 90% chance of failure, right? So what do you do as a new entrepreneur to get your business off the ground? You work overtime. You are sacrificing. You are putting every penny towards this thing. This is your baby. We are not giving up. But so many times new agents, when they get in, if you're not a business owner before, you don't know what that means. You don't know what sacrifice really looks like and what it means. For me, that means I'm crushing business during the day. I'm mommy at night, and when the kids go to bed, I go back to work. Are you willing to do it? How bad do you want it, right? Sometimes that means I'm gonna pay for a babysitter to watch my kids on the weekend because I need to do more in my business. Whatever that period of sacrifice, keeping in mind this is seasons. We're not saying you need to work 24/7 in order to be successful, but in the beginning, you absolutely, there's a cost to it, right? In order to get what you want, you're going to have delayed gratification and work harder than anybody else in the room. This is a great quote, but he said, obsessed is only a word the lazy use to describe the dedicated. That's by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Obsessed is only a word that the lazy use to describe the dedicated. So if someone tells you that you're obsessed with real estate, well, yeah, you're dedicated as hell, right? That's why you're obsessed. Doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. It just means you are going somewhere. You have vision, you have motivation, you know exactly what it takes to get there, right? And then again, the Taco Bell versus the agent dollar per hour. I'll show that slide so you guys can see it. But one thing Coach said was that if you call 1 hour a day, so if you're prospecting only for an hour a day, that's basically survival. That is Taco Bell wages. That means you are making only $50,000 to $60,000 a year, if that, okay? If you were to bump that up to 2 hours a day of calling, it means that's your growth phase, right? That's where you can make $100,000 to $150,000 a year. That's a decent living. That's a step above, right? You can actually probably afford a couple of things, pay off your debt. Now, if you change that to just 3 hours a day, it means that's your breakthrough. That is how you get to $1 million in gross commission, by calling for just 3 hours a day. If you want to do more, but literally that's all it takes for now. And he's saying you just need to do that 220 days out of the year, which is Monday through Friday, 3 hours a day, consistent dedication, right? We're just keeping up the pace, remembering it gets boring and it gets hard before you see any results. Keep going. That's what sales is. Real estate is hard. The people who are making money don't just get lazy and money just falls in their lap. They go for it, right? And that's really the takeaway that I got is I feel like I'm not even running a race with anyone in Hawaii, to be honest. There's a lot of really lazy, complacent agents that just do the bare minimum, and it sucks because I want more than that. I have a bigger vision, right? There's a lot of things I want to do in my life, and I need fuel to get there, and I need to build a business around me to get there. So just a reminder, if you guys want that, if you want to be part of Bill Pipe's coaching program, you need to reach out to me. We have to schedule a call, make sure you're a good fit, try to find a solution for you and your business, whatever that means. Let's say you're a producing agent wherever you are. If you're not with EXP already and you're interested in this program, but maybe you've capped already and you're like, man, I just made my cap. I don't want to change companies and start over with a new cap. EXP can do a capping deferment for the year that you join, which is pretty cool. So you don't have to worry about that. But definitely ping me. We can talk about it. There's just all kinds of solutions for you because I don't want you to sit here in the month of July and August and know that winter is coming and have nothing in your pipeline. This is the time that we burn the boats, just go for it full force. The other reminder that I had about production was that there are literally agents in the United States having the best months of their career right now, having multiple listings, 15 listings in a month, 16 listings in a month, 25 listings in a month on a team. And there are also agents having the worst month in their career right now with a completely dry pipeline with no one to talk to. They have no idea where their next check is coming from. So why is it that we have these two agents in the same industry having completely different businesses, right? Success leaves clues. This is everything you need to know. If you guys want this too, you can ping me. I have all my notes written up. It's a 5-page document. I'm happy to send them because there's a lot of good gems in there. And if you just print some of these out and put them on your wall right in front of your computer, you're gonna be motivated, right? But I'm gonna wrap this up. Link below is to schedule a call. I wanna talk with you. I wanna help with you. In fact, here, how about this? If you schedule a call with me, I'm gonna do a 1-hour private mentorship call with you and give you everything you need to succeed in your business. And it's gonna be for free. Normally I charge for this, but I'm gonna do it for free because I just wanna help. Really, I think there's so many barriers and limited mindsets right now, and I just wanna stretch you a little bit and tell you that it's all possible. Here's exactly what you need to do to implement starting today. So let's reach out. I look forward to talking with you soon. I'll see you next week.